Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel So Simple. Today we're going to take an old sweater and we're going to make a brand new tunic out of it. So get a sweater that you don't want, that you don't like anymore, and figure out where you want to add the fabric to your new sweater, to your new tunic. Okay, so I decided, this is the sweater I'm using, and I decided that I'm going to cut right here because I want the new fabric to start above my breast, and I've left about an inch here to give myself at least a half an inch seam allowance to add the other fabric to it. So I've already marked that and I'm going to cut there. The next thing you do is you take the fabric that you want to use for the bottom piece, and I've measured that from where the other fabric ends and this one starts to about here is my waist. You could just wrap the fabric around yourself to get these measurements if you don't want to get too technical. And then I've also measured that I want my blouse to be about this long, which is a bit below my butt. Okay, because this is something that I'm gonna plan and wear maybe with tights underneath or something like that. So once you decide the fabric and once you mark it, well, prior to doing that, I folded the fabric once in half, and then I folded the fabric again in half. And I'm using a stretchy fabric so that it's easy for me to wear. And this is kind of stretchy, woolly type fabric. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut my blouse and I'm going to cut my fabric. This is what it looks like so far. This is the top of my shirt, of my sweater that I cut. I cut it here. I lined it up with the fabric that I'm adding. What I did at the edges was I traced. Remember, I wrapped the fabric around myself to see where my waist would be, and I put a mark there. So now I traced up to about the waist, and then I sort of flared out. And then this line here is, I just marked this so that you could see how much seam allowance I left, so that when I sew I have my seam allowance. And I also did that at the end. I already cut how long it's gonna be, and I've marked so that when I do my hem, it's I have the room to do it. So I'm gonna cut around there. Once you cut around, what you're gonna do is you're going to sew this piece together. Okay, you're going to sew this piece together once you cut it. I've lined it up just so that you could get an idea of what's going on so far. So I've pinned my sides that I'm going to be sewing, this side and that side. I've lined it up with the top. This space that you see here, I gave myself enough room for seam allowance. I will be using a overlock machine which cuts as it sews, so I gave myself enough room here, and once I do that I'll be joining these two pieces together. So I'm gonna go and sew. Okay, so now I have sewn the sides of my bottom piece, and I'm going to add this piece to the top of my blouse. So I want to take the seams first on the bottom part and on the top part, and I want to join those together first, because that way all both seams will be lined up. So line those up and just put a pin in there to mark it, to hold it in place. Go to the other corner, do the same for the other side. Once you do those two sides, or wherever it is that you're joining your seams, depending on the type of blouse, keep in mind that it doesn't have to be a turtleneck. It could be a sweater, a low neck. It could be any type of sweater that you could do this project with. I just decided to do it with this top because there was something that had a tear in it and I didn't want to throw it out. So I lined up both of my sides. And now I'm going to just pin the rest of the area together around. I'm going to pin both of these areas, the top and the bottom, together. So do that to yours. Just line everything up, pin, and once you pin and have everything straight and make sure there's no folds or anything on your fabric, you're just going to go to the machine and you're going to sew around that area. And basically you are done. All you have to do now is you have to hem the bottom portion, and if you have any other hemming to do on your top, depending on what top you used, go ahead and hem that and you are pretty much done. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, please like, and when I'm done with mine, I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's all ready. So once again, thank you for watching.